Hey y'all, welcome back to the Guide Piper. Today I'm going to tell you all about a game that my brother and I played when we were kids. As far as we knew, we invented the game, but I don't know. We called it tennis baseball. And we couldn't play real baseball around the house, the front yard or the backyard, because we kept accidentally breaking windows and hitting cars and so forth. So we had to find a safer game to play, and one day we just decided, we found a couple of tennis rackets in the attic and some balls, and we decided to play. We invented tennis baseball, where you have your baseball glove in whatever hand you normally catch in, and then you have the tennis racket in the other hand. And we were both right-handed, and we would stand 20 or 30 feet apart and toss the ball from our gloved hand up into the air and swing and hit it with the racket to the other person. And then they would catch, they'd have a racket in one hand and the glove in the other, and they would catch the ball and then turn and then flip the ball up in the air and hit it back and forth. And we would play, and then as we got better at it, we would get farther and farther apart, and then we would start hitting high balls, line drives, slices at each other, all kinds of stuff. And the first one that dropped 10 balls lost the game. And we would play all day, and so that's what we played. And that, it taught, from a baseball side, it taught, hand-eye hitting skills, but it really taught really good defensive skills, because you could learn how to knock balls down because they were just tennis balls. You learned how to run after fly balls and be aware of your surroundings, and mostly, learning how to catch, and closing the glove so that the tennis ball didn't pop out. And then from a tennis side, it taught control, familiarity with the racket, ultimately confidence with the racket, and ultimately shot making skills. We would hit slices at each other really hard, hit lobs, hit topspin lobs, drop shots, whatever we could. We didn't know what they were called at the time. We called them pop-ups, but I guess they were lobs. And then it also developed the muscles of your arm, the wrist and your arm for tennis, because you have to run around and hold that racket while you're chasing the ball and trying to catch it. So you're holding the racket all day, so you get used to running around with a racket in your hand. And before you think this is kind of a silly game, it really isn't. I really recommend it. In fact, if because at the same time you're actually learning the skills of two sports. And if as I look back in my athletic career, by far the two sports that I excelled at the most were in fact tennis and baseball. And you can draw your own conclusions from that. So that's why I recommend tennis baseball for all. Play ball, play tennis baseball. Guide Piper to y'all.